Hey, welcome back, guys. This is going to be game two of a three-game tournament that was played at Atomic Empire. This is going to be Orcs and Goblins versus Demons of Chaos. And this is going to be Blood and Glory. So yeah, this scenario is going to be Blood and Glory. But if you break your opponent, you get 1,000 victory points. It's not automatic win. Now, if you break your opponent a second, you get 500 victory points. So you can still make up that good amount of that deficit if you're able to break your opponent, even if you get broken first. And for this, both of us can be fortitude 5, so both of us are going to be like one dead general away from being broken. So we're looking at my army list again, and like I was saying, I'm going to be fortitude 5. I'm going to be one, one dead general away from breaking. He's going to be fortitude 5. He'll be one dead general away from breaking, except his general is going to be a demon prince. It's a demon prince of Slaanesh, though. It's not a demon prince of Nurgle. And since it's a demon of chaos demon prince, it's not as powerful. And like I was saying, he's going to have the Demon Prince, but it's going to be Demon Prince of Slaanesh now, not of Nurgle. So instead of me hitting usually on sixes for most things, I may be able to hit it on fives. Um, Only other character I know that he has was the BSB Nurgle Herald. Don't think he had any other characters than that. He's going to have lots of like smaller chap units. The Beasts of Nurgle are still scary. He goes to two Skull Cannons. They're kind of scary, but I don't think the Skull Cannons are that great against me because the only really um, targets he has is like maybe war machines, and I don't think that's really worth even shooting that for the little bit of points he's going to get from that. So this is kind of a center view look at the deployment. He's going to have most of his Nurgle stuff in the middle, so I'll put my trolls in the middle. I figure it'd be a regen versus regen fight. Not too afraid of the flickering fire. That's not really going to do enough damage to my trolls for me to worry about. And since he is Slaanesh, I don't really know if they have any strong offensive spells. I know that they have the random movement spells that I have to worry about. He's going to hide his Demon Prince behind the hill, which is smart to stay away from my Doom Divers. And he's also going to have his Soul Grinder on the other side of that hill, off to the right here where you can't really see. And here's the wider look at the deployment, and you can see I have a weird looking hill on my side here. For some reason, this whole table reminds me of Hoth, like we're fighting Empire Strikes Back. And I think the way this hill is perfect for me to put spear chuckers on it. Um, I actually put my savages on the other side there to face his soul grinder, but then he put his demon prince down there too, so it kind of made it scary for my savages to face the demon prince and the soul grinder. But I still have most of my army facing most of his army, and off to the left, most of us we just have chaff and stuff facing each other, which isn't that important. Here's a quick look at my vanguards. And I also want to note he wanted to play the two rocks as hills, and it didn't really matter to me if they were hills or dangerous terrain because it wasn't going to really affect anything other than maybe my chariot or if his cannons came in. So it didn't matter to me. I was fine with it being hills. I think it was probably better for it to be hills for me, and it was something you don't have to keep track of. And so he's going to win the first turn. And if you see the little gold tokens here, this is going to be after he rolls for Reign of Chaos. Those Wolf Riders, the Wolf Chariot, savages, and I think my trolls as well, you can't see because of the Busey banner, are all going to be affected by this. This is something that does hits, I think. I think with strength 2 hits or strength 3 hits or whatever. Basically what's going to happen for this, those Wolf Riders are going to be gone. I think it kills 4 of them and the other one never rallies. I don't ever see it again. It does 1 wound in my chariot and really nothing to my savages or trolls, but this is the very irritating thing about Reign of Chaos when you're having a lot of chaff. It can really just delete chaff units very easily, and there's nothing you can do about it. So now as we go into his magic, he's going to try to get Phantasmagoria off. I think it was on my savages. I might have to use my dice to spell that, and that lets him get Acquiescence through on my trolls. I don't want to burn a scroll on that. I figure he's so far away, I will just let myself be random movement for 1 turn. In shooting, the skill cannon on the hill is going to misfire. I can't shoot this or next turn. His other skill cannon is going to... Both of them were trying to shoot my Doom Divers, and in between the space where the Trolls and the Doom Diver was. Because he didn't want to have to try to get through the regen, even though... Well, it wasn't regen, but still he'd have to kill them in order to keep going. You know, because he's flaming. But the other cannon's going to sail over the Doom Diver and not do anything. So I'm going to dodge a bullet here from his cannons the first turn. And so this is going to be turn 1 of Orcs and Goblins. I want to note that because we're playing Blood and Glory, we were only like 18 inches apart from each other. So what happened also for him is he charged his Furies at my spear chuck that was on the hill, and he makes the charge when he needed a 10, I think, or 9 or 10. So he's going to destroy that spear chuck, and then he's going to overrun because he wants to overrun onto one of my manglers. He's going to land on the mangler, kill the mangler, and kill himself. So one of my manglers dies, and one of my spear chuckers also died on his turn. So in my turn, I just moved my savages up enough to get them mostly out of the woods, so I wouldn't lose steadfast. And I charged one Wolf Rider unit, and his other furies that were mostly behind the hill, but I could see. I make the charge, and I put my other Wolf Riders in front of his Soul Grinder, to try to slow that down. And shooting, I don't have much to really shoot at with Doom Divers against what he has. I don't try to do indirect shots at his Demon Prince. I really don't think I do anything at all in my shooting. And in my magic, I really did nothing either. I didn't want to try to do Photogork because of his regen. I didn't want to worry with that. I think maybe the only thing I do is I may have given my General Fist of Gork, but I think that might have been the only thing I did in magic. And when we go into combat, it's going to be a draw between my Wolf Riders and his Furies there. He's going to kill one of me, but I'm going to have the charge. So Demon's turn 2, he would charge the Soul Grinder at my Wolf Riders, and I needed to try to pass the Terror test. I don't, so I'm going to flee. He's going to try to redirect my Savages. He had also declared a charge with his cannon on the hill at my Savages before he had done that. The cannon's going to make the charge, but the Soul Grinder is going to fail the charge. So now his cannons are going to be going against my Savages by itself. That was the only charges he had. He comes back on with his Flesh Hounds behind my lines here. He had those ambushing. And there's my Wolf Riders. They must not have all died, and I think I rallied them on my turn. So I thought they had been wiped out by Reign of Chaos, but I think he may have only killed 2 of them. So going back in his magic again, I don't really think he gets much off. I know he tries to get a Flickering Fire off on this Mangler on this side. I'm able to dispel it. There's really no magic I can really think he tries to do that I don't either dispel. I think I might have burned my scroll this turn. So his magic really isn't of consequence this turn. But the one big thing for the magic that he's going to forget is that when he rolls on the table, he's supposed to have a boosted ward. And he's not going to remember it till like 2 turns later. So he should have a 4+ ward on most of his things. So when we go into combat, I'm going to kill that cannon easily. He only kills like 3 or 4 Savages. And so since he charged me, I can reform. I'm going to reform to face that Demon Prince. I need to really go in there and kill that thing. And in the only other combat, my Wolves are actually going to beat those Furies, and they're going to pop. So Wolf Riders have killed something. That is good. Now I can try to move those Wolf Riders in front of that Soul Grinder again, and hopefully they'll pass it. One will pass the Terror test this time. As you can see here, Orcs and Goblins turn 2. I charged that Demon Prince on. I charged my Savages on into that Demon Prince. I failed my March test for my Wolf Riders, but I still have with movement 9 enough to get up here and block that Soul Grinder. I just really need to pass that Terror test because I don't want that thing coming to my flank. But this is a really cool look-up view, and you can also see in Magic I'm going to get every go off, so that's going to really help things a lot. So for the rest of my turn, I just kind of keep my Trolls here to try to protect my Savages. I think this is when my Mangler is going to go through his single Nurgle beast, but I'm only going to do 1 wound to it. My shooting is going to be not much. My magic, I think I put all my dice into every go to make sure I got that off, because that was very important for me to get off. And as you can see in combat, he's going to kill a few Savages, but I'm going to do 3 wounds to him because I've got he just issues a challenge. I just declined it, so my level 1 goes back. I'm fine with that. I've got over 20 attacks going to him, re-rolling, strength 5. I'm able to get 3 wounds. He forgot he's supposed to have a 4+ ward, so I should have done 2 wounds instead of 3, but he doesn't remember until much later. And now, so I'm going to win this combat by 3. I have a very good chance of popping him, but he's going to roll a Stone Cold double 3, 6, so he's going to stick around. So now I desperately need to pass that Terror test. Demon's turn 3, and you can see this board. He's going to charge his Nurgle Beast into my Trolls. He's going to charge his Soul Grinder into my Wolf Riders. I'm going to pass my Terror test. That is perfect. So now I don't have to worry about that Soul Grinder coming into my flank right now. I'm gonna hold my Wolf Riders. His I think they're like their Flesh Hounds are gonna go into one of my Doom Divers. I'm fine with that. He charges his Skull Cannon at my Wolf Chariot. I'm gonna flee, and so that's gonna be a failed charge. And so we're gonna have lots of fighting and stuff going on here. And so this is gonna be after combat. I don't know what his Reign of Chaos was this time. I think it was one where it was like templates and stuff, and it really has no effect on me. It might have actually hit a Wolf Chariot again and done another wound, but other than that, it was nothing. But as you can see in the combat, I'm going to kill the Demon Prince this time. I'm going to reform. He's going to wipe out my Wolf Riders. So we're going to be facing off against each other here. He's going to kill a troll and I think carry a couple wounds over, but I'm going to kill 3 of his Nurgle Beasts after he crumbles or whatever his stability test. So I'm doing very well in the combats here. His Flesh Hounds are going to kill one of my Doom Divers and then go on to the next one. So Orc and Goblins turn 3 is a big weight off my mind that Prince is dead. I'm just going to go ahead and charge on into that Soul Grinder. I was a little bit worried about the Soul Grinder because I'm only leadership 7. I'm going to be far away from my general. So if I fail a test of it, I'm going to be steadfast. That's still kind of scary, but I have to go. I'd rather be charging it than it charging me. Uh, we go into magic. I think this is when I'm going to get armor piercing off on my little Night Goblin unit, which really doesn't matter. I'm not going to have Eric go off. He's going to spell it this time when I'm going against his Soul Grinder. Again, my shooting is not much. I think I do another wound to his single Nurgle Prince. Nurgle Beast. And as you can see from the combat here, I do destroy that Soul Grinder, so I don't have to worry about taking any kind of break test or anything. I'm also going to wipe out his Nurgle Beasts that were fighting my trolls. So he is in really bad shape because he actually gets broken from 4 to 2 when I kill his prince. So I'm only getting 1,000 points from that. So he only really has his Nurgle Plague Bearers left. They could probably take on the Savages, but he doesn't want to be pinned in place long enough for my trolls to get in there. So this is going to be a point where he's trying to save points. So Demon's turn 4. He's not going to have much to do now. He's going to be trying to conserve points and trying to get points where he can. His Reign of Chaos is going to be a template again. I think the only thing that hits mine is my trolls and really does nothing to them. His cannon's going to shoot. I think it shoots at my punt wagon and rolls a 1 to wound. So he's really having a lot of bad luck. And I mean, that was pretty much, it's a really fast turn. There's really nothing else going on. I think the only thing he does is a flickering fire at my mangler that's going wild right now, and he does like 1 wound to it. So Orc and Goblin turn 4. I'm going to charge my bunker that has my BSB in general and a Wolf Chariot at his Flesh Hounds. And I kind of made a mistake with that because I have Fist of Gork off on my general, but he's not going to be in the combat. I'm not going to be able to get him to fit into the combat. So and I can't make way because my BSB is in combat. I can't take my BSB out of combat, so I'm going to have that Fist of Gork wasted, but it's not going to matter. I'm going to wipe those Flesh Hounds out. I think he does 1 wound to my BSB, maybe, or maybe not. And he's not even going to be able to destroy my chariot. It only has 1 wound left on it. I'm going to reform my savages and move up, but he's going to be moving backwards, so it's going to be very tough for me to catch at this point. And that's mainly at this point, he's playing to try to see what he can do with Reign of Chaos. And I do want to mention in this picture that you're looking at, I did charge my trolls at the flank of his Plague Bearers. I was 13 inches away, so I needed a 7 on a roll of 5, so I'm going to fail the charge. So, I mean, I think I've got the big victory now anyway, but, I mean, that would have secured it for sure. Okay, so his turn 5, he would charge his single beast at my other Spirit Chucker and his skill cannon at my punt wagon, and he can destroy both of those. His Reign of Chaos, I don't know what it was this time. It wasn't nothing that really did any damage to me. And he's going to have like a flicker fire again at my, that's the only spell he has, at my mangler, but he's still not going to destroy it. And that's going to be his turn. Okay, for my turn, I only got 1 Spirit Checker left. I have Foot of Gork. I haven't even tried to cast Foot of Gork, and I'm like, I've got a giant win, I think. If I miscast and kill myself, I'm gonna give him 500 points for breaking my fortitude and the points for my general. I can be giving up a lot of battle points. I really do nothing. I cannot catch his plague bearers that are moving away from me. So I just do nothing and just go ahead and skip my turn. And so for his turn six, he's going to his Reign of Chaos is again not going to kill anything of mine, and he's going to do Flickering Fire at my Mangler. I don't think he destroys it, but his skill cannon is going to kill my Wolf Chariot, and that's going to pretty much end the game. Because on my turn, I'm not going to risk doing Foot of Gork or any kind of magic to stuck myself into the warp maybe, and giving up tons of points that can really affect the scoring for this. So when we add this up, it's going to be a 20-0 victory for the Orcs. So if I had done magic and killed myself, I think it would have been 18-2. So I really wouldn't have got enough points to make it worth the risk. So I feel like I did the right thing and just skipping my fifth and sixth turn the way I did, and just moving around a little bit and just not trying to risk doing Foot of Gork. So this is going to be a pretty big win. I'm going to go into the last game I play of Warriors of Chaos. I have a chance to get first place. We're going to see what happens. I really think the turning point in this game was when I was able to go into that Demon Prince. And even though he would have had one more wound going to the final round, I'd done 3 wounds to him then. I still would have won that combat. I think that he would have probably popped from instability. I don't think he would have stuck around anyway, but he would have had 2 wounds in that final round instead of 1 if he had remembered he should have had a 4+ ward. And the demon princes for Demons of Chaos are still very scary. But if the Warriors princes were like this, I think you would not really have the complaints that you have, just because of the instability test, and just because it's a little bit more difficult for them to get the optimum builds than it is for the Warriors Demon Princes. So I'd rather face this kind of Demon Prince all day long than the Warriors Prince. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll have Game 3 up soon, hopefully in the next few days. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.